This morning we will be reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 10, text 3. Departure of Lord Krishna to Dwarka. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottanam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamudi Rayat Naspayesya Bhatasya Nityam Bhagavatasya Bhagavati Uttamastoke Bhaktir-Naistike Bhaktir-Bhavati-Naistike Nisanya Bhismoktam Atasyutoktam Nisanya Bhismoktam Atasyutoktam Pavita Vihyana Viduta Vipramaha Sasa Sagamindra Ivachita Satchaya Parityupantam Anujanuvahtitam Nisanya Bhishmoktam Atasyutoktam Pavrita Vihyana Viduta Vikramaha Sasa Sagamindra Ivachita Saya Parityopantam Anujanuvahtitam Nisanya Bhishmoktam Atasyutoktam Pavrita Vihyana Viduta Vipramaha Sasa Sagamindra Ivachita Swaya Parityopantam Anujanuvahtitam
Nishamya Bhishmoktamata Achyutoktam
Nisanya Bhishmoktam Atasyutoktam
Pravritta Vigyana Vidhuta Vibrama
Pavrita Vihyana Viduta Vipramaha
Shashasagamendra Ivajitashrayah
Sasa Sagamindra Ivachita Swaya
Parityupantama Anujanuvartitaha
Parityopantam Anujanuvahtitam Nisamya Bhishmoktamatasyutoktam Pavitra Vijnana Vidutta Vibrama Tasasya Gamindra Ivachitasayam Parityopantam Manujan Vartitaham Nisamya Bhishmoktamatasyutoktam Pavrita Vijnana Vidutta Vibramaha Tasasagaminda Ivachitaskaya Parityopantam Manujanuvartitam. Word for word translation. Nisamya,
Vishamya.
after listening.
After listening.
Bhishma Uktam,
Bhishma.
what was spoken by Bhishma Dev.
What was spoken by Bhishma.
Ata,
Atha.
as also.
As also.
Asyuta Uktam,
Achyuta.
what was spoken by the infallible Lord Krishna.
What was spoken by the infallible Lord Krishna.
Pravrita,
Pravritta.
being engaged in.
Being engaged in.
Vijnana,
Jnana.
perfect knowledge.
Perfect knowledge.
Viduta,
Vidhuta.
completely washed.
Completely washed.
Vibramaha,
Vibramaha.
all misgivings.
All misgivings.
Sasasa,
Shastra. Shastra.
ruled over.
Ruled over.
Gam,
Kam.
the earth.
The earth.
Indra,
Indra.
the king of the heavenly planet.
The king of the heaven.
Eva, like.
Right.
Ajita Asrayaha,
Jita Ashraya.
protected by the invincible Lord.
Protected by the invisible.
Parithi Upantam, including the seas. Anuja, the younger brothers.
The younger.
Anuvartitaha, being followed by them. Translation. Maharaj Yudhishthir, after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhishma Dev and Lord Shri Krishna, the infallible, engaged himself in matters of perfect knowledge, because all his misgivings were eradicated. Thus he ruled over the earth and seas, and was followed by his younger brothers. Please repeat. Maharaj Yudhishthir, after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhishma Dev and Lord Shri Krishna,
After being enlightened by books,
the infallible engaged himself in matters of perfect knowledge, because all his misgivings were eradicated. Thus he ruled over the earth and seas, and was followed by his younger brothers. Purport. The modern English law of primogeniture, or the law of inheritance by the firstborn, was also prevalent in those days, when Maharaj Yudhishthira ruled the earth and seas. In those days, the king of Hastinapur, now part of New Delhi, was the emperor of the world, including the seas, up to the time of Maharaj Parikshit, the grandson of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Maharaj Yudhishthir's younger brothers were acting as his ministers and commanders of state, and there was full cooperation between the perfectly religious brothers of the king. Maharaj Yudhishthir was the ideal king or representative of Lord Sri Krishna to rule over the kingdom of earth, and was comparable to King Indra, the representative ruler of the heavenly planets. The demigods like Indra, Chandra, Surya, Varuna, and Vayu are representative kings of different planets of the universe, and similarly, Maharaj Yudhishthir was also one of them. He was ruling over the kingdom of the earth. Maharaj Yudhishthir was not a typically unenlightened political leader of modern democracy. Maharaj Yudhishthir was instructed by Bhishmadev and the infallible Lord also, and therefore he had full knowledge of everything in perfection. The modern elected executive head of state is just like a puppet because he has no kingly power. Even if he is enlightened like Maharaj Yudhishthir, he cannot do anything out of his own goodwill due to his constitutional position. Therefore, there are so many states over the earth quarreling because of ideological differences or selfish motives. But the king, like Maharaj Yudhishthir, had no ideology of his own. He had but to follow the instructions of the infallible Lord and the Lord's representatives, an authorized agent like Bhishmadev. It is instructed in the Shastras that one should follow the great authorities and the infallible Lord without any personal motive or manufactured ideology. Therefore, it was possible for Maharaj Yudhishthir to rule the world, to rule the whole world, including the seas, because the principles were infallible and universally applicable to everyone. The conception of one world state can only be fulfilled if we can follow the infallible authority. An imperfect human being cannot create an ideology acceptable for everyone. Only the perfect and infallible can create a program which is applicable at every place and can be followed by all in the world. It is the person who rules and not the impersonal government. If the person is perfect, the government is perfect. If the person is a fool, the government is a fool's paradise. That is a law of nature. There are so many stories of imperfect kings or executive heads. Therefore, the executive head must be trained, must be a trained person like Maharaj Yudhishthir. And he must have the full autocratic power to rule over the world. The conception of a world state can take shape only under the regime of a perfect king like Maharaj Yudhishthir. The world was happy in those days because there were kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir to rule over the world. Read the verse again. Nisamya Vishmuktamata Syutuktam Pavita Vishyana Viduta Vipramaha Sasasramindra Evachita Saya Parichupantam Manujan Vaktitam. Translation. As Yudhishthira, after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhishmadev and Lord Sri Krishna, the infallible, engaged himself in matters of perfect knowledge, because all his givings were eradicated. Thus he ruled over the earth and sea, and was followed by his younger brothers. Om Jnana Timanasya Jnana Shakshvan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Chit Chaitanya Manobhishtam Staptam Yena Bhutaleshvam Upkadamyam Dadati Svapadantikam. Vandeham Shigo Shiyuda Padakam Nam Shigam Vaishnavamsa. Shri Upam Sagajatam Saganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parajanata Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganalita Shivishakam Vitam Sha. He Krishna Karuna Sinudina Bandha Chatpate Gopesha Kopra Kantaran Kantanamstate Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhani Sutta Devi Pranamama Hari Priya Vankha Kapta Bisha Kripa Sinvarivsam Patnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani. Nirvashesha Snyavadi Paskatani Dasatani. Srila Prabhupada Ki. The principles of Krishna consciousness are universal. So, Dharma means the occupational duty of the living entities. That cannot be changed. Dharma is fixed, it's universal. And Maharaj Yudhishthira applied these universal principles. So, Srila Prabhupada has given a lecture on this verse. There's a series of lectures, all in 1973, on this verse. It's Mayapur, June 18. He says, Prabhupada begins his lecture with, so here is a responsible monarch, Maharaj Yudhishthira. It is not that some rascal gets some votes and some way or another he sits on the president's chair and secretly doing all nonsense. I don't know if that sounds familiar, but this is a fact that people get a government post by voting, but are they qualified just by receiving voting? Have they been trained for their function? Of course, in that time, when Srila Prabhupada gave this lecture, I remember President Nixon, that it came in the news all over the world, the Watergate scandal. That was a big thing at the end, in the beginning of the 70s. And it was just at that time, and that Prabhupada writes, just like your President Nixon is now detected so many things. The monarchy was not like that. Here it is clearly said, Pravita Vijnane Viduta Vipramaha Vijnana Viduta. Maharaj Yudhishthira was thinking that for me, so many people have been killed. So I've become very much sinful. I'm not fit for sitting on the throne, such responsible throne. That's humility. Did you have ever hear a politician saying, "Don't vote for me, vote for the other. It's much better than me. I'm so fallen." No, you don't hear these things. That all puffed up, thinking they will change things. I'm the doer. But still, Yudhishthira had doubts, and even Krishna could not convince him that, of course, that was Krishna's arrangement that they would hear from Bhishmadev. Bhishmadev is one of the Mahajans that so Yudhishthira Maharaj's misgivings were dissipated by the words of Bhishma. His greatest misgiving was that it's mentioned here. For me, so many, to put me on the throne, so many have been killed. But it was Krishna's plan, Bhishmadev said. Bhishmadev said it's Krishna's plan, because he wanted a Mahabhagavat devotee ruling the world. That's not an ordinary position, Mahabhagavat. That a pure devotee. So Prabhupada writes, Bhishma is authority. Next to Krishna, Bhishma is one of the authorities. There are 12 authorities. And then he quotes this verse from spoken by Yamaraj to the Yamadutas. Because the Yamadutas were very frustrated because they tried to snatch away the soul of Ajamil, who was very sinful in his life. And then this Vishnudutas appeared and stopped them. So they went to Yamaraj and says, we were thinking you were the highest authority, but it seems there is a higher authority. But if there are different authorities, who should we follow? And then Yamaraj said, yes, the highest authority is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not me. And all the laws, universal laws, are enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, come from him. And it's very rare that someone understands these universal principles. It's very rare. And then he quotes this verse. Only these 12 Madhyans, they know really the religious principles. Svayambhu, Narada, Sambhu, Kapila, Kumaromanu, Palada, Bhishma, Janakam. So these are Madhyans. Svayambhu, Brahma, Narada, Sambhu is Lord Shiva, Kapila Muni, for the Kumaras, the Swambhuva Manu, the Manus, Prahlad, Bhishmadev, and Janaka. Janaka, King Janak. Janaka. These are the authorities of piety, religion, he says. So we must follow these Mahajans. Our Mahajan is Prabhupada. It's also a Mahajan. That Mahajano Jinagata Sapanta. That one should follow in the footsteps of these Mahajans. It's quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. We cannot decide what is actual piety religion. But if we follow Mahajan, great authorities, then certainly we are unmistaken. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, now all the Pandavas along with Krishna, they have come to Bhishmadev for taking his last instruction. So that was Krishna's arrangement. He was lying on the bed of arrows for death. He was lying on the bed of arrows for death, yeah. So his father's benediction was that Bhishmadev would not die unless he desires to die. Therefore, he got the name Bhishma. That one who had taken a great fall. He was a very avowed brahmachari, truthful. And Bhishmadev recommended in the Rasa Suya Jahya that Krishna is a greater brahmachari than me. That, yes. Although I'm brahmachari, but Krishna is a greater brahmachari. So why? I'm brahmachari. I've avoided association of women, but Krishna, he was a young boy and he had so many young girlfriends. Still, he was not sexually agitated. He's the greatest brahmachari. That is a recommendation given by Bhishma Dev. He was glorifying, Bhishma Dev was glorifying Krishna at the Rajasuya sacrifice of Yudhishthira Maharaj. And there was Sisupal, he was criticizing Krishna. And Bhishma Dev was defending Krishna. Yeah. So when Sisupal was criticizing Krishna, Bhishma Dev supported Krishna. That what kind of brahmachari I am? He's a greater brahmachari than me. I think I could save myself, keeping myself among the young girls. No, but Krishna can do so. He's the real brahmachari. So therefore, his other name is Asyuta, never falls down, infallible. Asyuta. That, I think it's in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna calls Krishna Asyuta. Prabhupada comments, Asyuta means one who never fails in affection for his devotees. Very nice. That Krishna never fails in the affection for his devotees. This Baladev Vidyabhushan is one of the commentators on Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna says, Nami Bhaktya Pranashati. He says to Arjuna, declare it boldly, my devotee will never perish. And Baladev Vidyabhushan writes lines between Bhagavad Gita. And then Arjuna is saying to Krishna, you want me to declare it to everyone? Why are you not doing it yourself, Krishna? And Krishna replies, but I'm from Mathura. And those from Mathura, they are known as liars, that as cheaters. But he said, yeah, but we will never cheat those whom we are loving. So Krishna cheats everyone in this world with his illusory energy, but not his devotees. They see how things are. And that, so it's infallible. Prabhupada continues. Every living entity is fallible. Only Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is infallible. Brahma is fallible. What to speak of other demigods? Brahma was attracted by seeing his beautiful daughter, of Akhin. Lord Shiva was fallible when he saw the beauty of Mohini Mukti. So, what to speak of others? And Indra, Chandra, they are all fallible. Only Krishna is infallible. All others fallible. Therefore, Pavritta Vishyana Vishmuktamata Asyuktam. Asyuta, Krishna was addressed by Arjuna in the battlefield. Asyuta. Yeah, that was this is verse from the first chapter, verse 21. Where Krishna says, Senyor Bhyo Madhye Ratam Stapayame Asyuta. Asyuta. Yeah, he says, put the cart between the two armies. Krishna acts as his servitor. So Arjuna was addressing Krishna's Asyuta because he was feeling rather little hesitation that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has voluntarily accepted the position of my driver, and I have to ask him, Mr. Driver, please take me there. I order him, and he has to carrying the order of Arjuna. Therefore, he purposely addressed him as Asyuta, my dear friend Krishna. Don't mind, I'm ordering you, but you have promised to carry out my order. You are infallible. So kindly, do not take into mind, I'm ordering you. So, therefore, Prabhupada says that every word in the Shastra has a deep meaning. So Arjuna says, Senyor Ubayo Matye Ratam Stapayam. He could address him, Krishna. He could have said Krishna, but no Asyuta. You are correct to your promise. And again, another place, Krishna says, Kantya Pratijanya Nami Bhaktya Pranashyati. So that's this verse. Prabhupada quotes it. Krishna asked Arjuna, you declare the world that my devotee never will be vanquished. Why is Krishna asking Arjuna to declare? He could declare, but the meaning is that sometimes for the sake of his devotees, he breaks his promise. Prabhupada's taken another angle. He says, Krishna breaks sometimes his promise for the sake of his devotee. Just like Bhishma promised Krishna, tomorrow either your friend Arjuna will die, or I'm determined now, or you have to break your promise. Because Krishna had said, I will not fight. But when Arjuna was practically devastated by the arrows of Bhishma, he fell down. His chariot broke. Everything shattered. Now Krishna saw, now Arjuna is going to die. So immediately Krishna took the wheel of the chariot and went in front of Bhishma. Now you stop, otherwise I will kill you. So this fighting, so Bhishma Dev saw. Now Krishna has broken his promise. I stop. So to keep the promise of Bhishma, that Bhishma promised, either Arjuna will die or Krishna. So you will have to break your promise. Two things. So Krishna said, yes, I'm breaking my promise. Don't kill Arjuna. Therefore, for the sake of the devotee, he sometimes breaks his promise. But if his devotees promises, I shall do, Krishna will give him all protection. Yes, it must be done. That in all circumstances, it must be done. That is Krishna. If his devotee promises something, this must be done. Krishna gives all protection. Therefore, here it is stated, Ajitasraya. You cannot be successful without being Ajitasraya. Ajita. Ajita means Krishna. Nobody can conquer him. It's Ajita. Jita means conquered. Nobody is here who can conquer Krishna. Krishna, I mean to say, he accepted that, my dear gopis, the service you have rendered, I cannot repay you. Yeah, that is in Krishna book in the 10th canto, where the gopis address Krishna. Says there are three kinds of lovers. And there's the lover who does not reciprocate with the beloved. If the beloved give so he receives love but does not reciprocate. He's ungrateful. And so the gopis indirectly wanted to say to Krishna, you are ungrateful, you are not reciprocating. But there is another kind of lover, and that lover will reciprocate when receiving love, then reciprocates. But that's not a real lover. That's a businessman. That's business. But then the real lover is one, even if not receiving love and affection, he will still reciprocate and give love and affection. And then Krishna replies, yes. He says, I'm not ungrateful to you. But he says, na parayeham, I cannot repay you for your love. That it's impossible. And that is what Prabhupada says here. My dear gopis, the service you have rendered, I cannot repay. You have conquered me. There is no possibility of my repaying your service. You are better satisfied with your service. And that's a great lesson for us. Just be satisfied with your service. It is satisfying in itself if you do it with a pure heart, with pure motive. It's satisfying. That Krishna is not our order supplier. Just accept what Krishna gives us. And that's pure devotional service, that's pure love. When he saw that, if I sit down on the throne, this Yudhishthira Maharaj, when I sit down on the throne to rule the world, that I will be right in my position. And that is Maharaj Yudhishthir. Not only Maharaj Yudhishthir, all the kings who was emperor of the world, they were of the same nature, Therefore, they were called Rajarsi. Imam Rajarsayo Vidu. Evam Parampara Praptam Rajarsaya. Bhagavad Gita 4.2. The Bhagavad Gita, it meant for the Rajarsis, king, but they are saintly person. They are called Rajarsi, Raj and Rishi, both combined together, Rajarsi. So all the kings in those days, they were all Rajarsis. Not this rascal President Nixon, I mean. But, so much Yudhishthira ruled over the earth. Now it is clearly stated that there was only one flag. That is also stated. Upon the time of Maharaj Parikshit, there was no division. The whole world was Bharatvarsha, and the emperor of Hastinapur, they ruled over Paridyupantam, that Anujana Vaktita. He was not alone, his brothers, Arjuna, Bhishma, Nakula, Sahadev, great fighters, great commanders-in-chief, generals, they were all at his command. Arjuna Vaktita. Whatever Maharaj Yudhishthira will order, otherwise, how could he manage such great empire? He had generals and commander-in-chiefs like Arjuna and Bhishma, indefatigable. Nobody could conquer Arjuna or Bhishma alone. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. Any comments, questions? Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada made a lot of predictions about this Kali Yuga and things that would happen. Did he ever say anything about this kind of government returning with a monarchy, with a righteous king? Did he ever say anything about that?
Well, I don't remember the details, but he spoke about a golden period of 10,000 years, in which would like a mini Satya Yuga. What it means, I don't know. That he made certain predictions. When he was in Amsterdam, he said, in the future they will live under the ground. It's like an atomic war, whatever. I don't know what he meant. That, yes. But of course, he spoke about predictions, but they are all mentioned in the 12th canto of the Bhagavatam. In the canto, there are a lot of predictions that we'll see. Good, thank you. Yes.
Two questions. The first one was many times I heard about this, that Krishna is the greatest celibate. So how we can understand?
Yeah, but when some of the cowboys said to the gopis, Krishna is the greatest brahmachari, and they were all smiling. But yes, that brahmachari means free of lust. Krishna is always free from lust. So he cannot be influenced by lust. That's not possible. That the love of the gopis has nothing to do with this lust. That's on the body concept of life.
And sorry, I believe because there are so many times Srila Prabhupada has said, but if somebody outsider, if they question, what do you mean by that?
Yeah,
then how we can make them understand? That is what
yeah,
I wanted.
we have to educate them. We have to explain what's the difference between lust and love. There's a whole chapter in Chaitanya Charitamrita explaining the difference between lust and love. And they have to study the first chapter of the seventh canto. First chapter of the seventh canto that explains why Krishna is impartial. And why is he impartial? Is because he's not influenced by the modes of nature. He's transcendental to the modes. And because he's transcendental to the modes, there is no question of lust. But then they must understand what lust means, bodily concept of life. It's a tremendous education. So I would not advise to try to explain that to new persons. That many times they have the misconception. This was in Poland. One of the Catholic nuns brought a Hare Krishna movement before court that we were promoting immorality. And okay, it came before the court, and our lawyer addressed the judge that, Your Honor, may I ask a question to this nun? And said yes. And he asked one question, that what is the meaning of the ring at your finger? And the court case was finished. Because what does this mean? This ring mean? You know? They married Jesus Christ. How many wives should he have? So this is just, someone addressed Srila Prabhupada and said that your Krishna is immoral, that is married with so many wives. Krishna said, and Prabhupada replied, you are immoral, because you married Krishna's wife. We are all part and parcels of Krishna. His wife belongs to Krishna. It means they don't understand what God means. God means is the proprietor of everything. That is not like us. They bring God to our level. That we are, that He's, but God can do whatever He wants. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if I would not my duty, I would put this world to ruination, because everyone would follow me. So we see Krishna follows all these rules of the Vedas. He's a son of Maharaj Nanda, and he does the duty of a Vaishya. Goes out, herds the cows, milk the cows. Then later he's a Kshatriya, he's doing the duties of a Kshatriya. That is very strict in all his duties. That But people who are denying the existence of God, they cannot understand these things. And we should not try to explain to them. Certainly not. Those who are interested, we can begin to educate. But don't try to explain these things to people who are envious of us, because finally they are envious of God. If they bring up these points, they are envious of God. Good. You had another question?
Yes. So, Maharaj, it is mainly the guidance required because the political situation how currently in this country, and we had an election. So as a devotee, should we do a voting? And if you have to do vote, because as a responsible citizen, it is recommended to do a vote. But when I personally think, both the parties or both the leaders, it's like demon. One is in the white cloth, one is in black cloth, but no difference. There is not much difference in it. So, should we just avoid and not vote, or should we just go and vote?
Prabhupada's instructions were clear, so don't vote.
No.
Don't vote for these rascals. That's
Neither. I mean, don't go for voting. Basically.
Don't go for voting. Don't. I still voted myself one time in England. I tell you the reason. This is the Bhaktivedanta Manor got in difficulty because of the conservatives in power in that village area. That went on till late 90s. And it looked very ugly. But then, at the next election, because Labour always said, if we get the power, we stop it. And Labour got the power and stopped the court case, and the manor was saved. Therefore, I voted one time for Labour to thank them. But otherwise, don't vote. That's what Prabhupada said. He was quite clear about that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Maharaj, Prabhupada said that all the planets are floating in space because they're supported by the rays of the sun. What did he mean by that?
It says the planets are floating in space because of Sankarshan. Sankarshan, he's at the bottom of the universe, and all the planets are on his hood, and he's moving. And that's called the law of gravity, we call Sankarshan. That's what Prabhupada said, that the rays of the sun, I don't know. If you send me that quote, I will look at it, but I never heard that.
Yeah, he has said it in many places.
Yeah.
That I got the impression maybe he's referring to the bodily effulgence of Krishna reflecting from the sun. And therefore the sun rays has a combination of Lord Sri Krishna's body effulgence and the matter emanating from the sun. And this is somehow supporting the planets.
Yeah, the planets, life on the planets depends on the sun. That's another thing. It's by the sunlight there is life on the universe. This is Krishna's eyes, the reflection of the Brahmajyoti. But that's another thing. The life on the planets depends, but not that they are floating because of the sun. But I never heard. But life depends on the sun. Without sun, there is no life in the universe. Good. Thank you very much. Chandra Shimad Bhagavatam.